Namaskar, warm greetings from DELNET Developing Library Network, New Delhi, India. Distinguished speakers, Dr. Kshema Prakash, Deputy Librarian, IIT Jodhpur, Dr. Mohit Saxena, Co-founder and Chief Technology Officer, Infinity Firewall and AI-Driven Automation, Shri K. Kumar, President DELNET, Dr. S.S. Murthy, Vice President, Dr. P.R. Goswami, Treasurer, the professional colleagues at IIT Jodhpur, including Dr. Kamlesh Patel and Mr. C. Chadbane, the heads of institutions, Dean Research, eminent librarians, library and information science professionals, heads of computer science departments, IT professionals, IQAC heads, faculty, researchers, scholars, students, my colleagues here at DELNET New Delhi, and also its coordination units at Bangalore and Pune. Ladies and gentlemen, I, Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, Director DELNET, on behalf of DELNET, takes profound pleasure in welcoming you all for joining us today from different nooks and parts of India and many other countries across the globe, including Algeria, Bhutan, Canada, Iceland, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, UAE, UK, and USA to today's webinar session on evolving ebook acquisition from shelf experiments to AI-powered selection at IIT Jodhpur, India. We are much grateful to each one of you for your overwhelming response, as nearly 1,500 participants have registered for today's webinar session. I take immense pleasure in welcoming you and also informing you that DELNET, a major largest resource sharing library network in South Asia, connects more than 9,000 institutions across the country and also outside. It is our continuous endeavor to ensure that we are able to contribute towards competency building among our library and information science professionals and also in many other disciplines. At the very outset, on behalf of DELNET, we would like to express our very warm, sincere gratitude to our most distinguished speakers, Dr. Kshema Prakash and Dr. Mohit Saxena, who will be sharing their vast expertise today with us. We remain ever grateful to both of you for taking out your valuable time in being there with us and also for your very constructive contributions in ensuring that we are being here today to discuss on a subject which holds a great relevance and also to witness the success story of a very major initiative being taken up at IIT Jodhpur, which will significantly would be contributing towards the library landscape. I have immense pleasure in welcoming our distinguished speakers. And firstly, may I have a pleasure of introducing our speaker, Dr. Kshema Prakash ji, who has been serving as a Deputy Librarian at IIT Jodhpur since 2010, bringing over 26 years of professional experience across research laboratories and academic institutions. Dr. Kshema, a computer science graduate with a consistent record of academic excellence, holds a gold medal in Library and Information Science program and a doctorate in library management. Dr. Prakash is a passionate library and information science professional with an expertise in emerging technologies for libraries, change and agility management, digital scholarship, information instructions, research data management, and also mentoring the young library professionals. She has a notable record of scholarly publications and a unique blend of skill, which she leverages to lead large academic libraries, fosters stakeholder engagement, and mentors teams. She is being at IIT Jodhpur, has been spearheading library development and oversees a broad spectrum of responsibilities, including planning, infrastructure development, user engagement, and financial and human resource management. Beyond her core responsibilities, Dr. Kshema also plays a pivotal role in coordinating the Institute's publications and contributing to the initiatives aimed at improving the institutional ranking of IIT Jodhpur. Her work reflects her ability to adapt to diverse roles, collaborate with the cross-functional teams, and upholds the institutional values with integrity and dedication. It's a profound honor and pleasure to welcome you, Dr. Kshema. Thank you so very much for your consistent, marvelous support to DELNET and being such a wonderful colleague for years altogether. It's really such a pleasure to be, acknowledge your presence here wholeheartedly. We welcome you and thank you so very much for agreeing to be our distinguished speakers of today's session. Thank you so much indeed, Dr. Kshema. Now, I take an immense pleasure in acknowledging, firstly, the presence of Dr. Mohit Saxena. Thank you so very much, Dr. Saxena, for being there in this among the entire fraternity of library and information science professionals. And it's indeed a great honor for us to have you today with us. Immense honor and pleasure in informing you all that Dr. Mohit Saxena, a distinguished technologist, an innovator, and entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience in networking, cybersecurity, telecommunications, and software automation. He's a co-founder and chief technology officer of Infinity Firewall and AI-driven automation. Dr. Saxena holds a PhD in computer science and engineering, along with 3 master's degree in computer science, artificial intelligence, and quantum technologies. And I'm feeling so very happy and delighted to inform you all, and this is a very rare distinction that very few academicians and technologists may have, that he has earned these degrees from premier institutions, including IIT, MIT, and UPM Madrid. His extensive industry experience includes working with Cisco Systems as a principal architect, where he contributed to the groundbreaking innovations, some of which have also been patented. He is also a senior IEEE member and a lifetime fellow of the Institution of Electronics and Telecom Engineers, reflecting his dedication to the technological advancement. It's a profound pleasure to have you today with us, Dr. Mohit, and thank you very much for agreeing, to be there with us on this platform today. We remain much grateful to you. I really don't want to be there in between you and our very distinguished speakers who would be enlightening each one of us on this very innovative new practice which has been implemented at IIT Jodhpur. And now I would like to request Dr. Kshema Prakash to start the deliberations, and would be requesting now Dr. Kshema to kindly accept our invite to take the session on from here onwards. It's over to you, Dr. Kshema.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta. The pleasure is equally mine, rather a little bit more mine, because DELNET is such a wonderful platform, and we've been associated with you and your team for years together now. And it's such a pleasure to be seeing you once again, and also connecting with all the wonderful library science professionals and allied disciplines over this much worthier platform. And I remain indebted to you for inviting me to share my experiences here. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, yes, very much, Kshema, very much, yes.
So, all right, so I think, yes, thank you so much. So as Dr. Sangeeta has already explained about the topic for today that I have chosen to share with you all is the ebook acquisitions, the evolution of ebook acquisitions at IIT Jodhpur. I always have had a fascination for self-help books and the books which talk about a lot of personal evolution. And it is a matter of serendipity that when I was mulling over the difficulties of reaching out to my users for the ebook acquisitions at library, I was reading this wonderful book, Ganbatte, the Japanese art of always moving forward, and I'm sure every one of you will agree with us that either we get shipwrecked or ride the waves. The choice is ours, because life never fails us with the kind of challenges that it throws in our face. So let's start. So I would like to set the stage for today's talk with these broader points: ebooks in the context of academic libraries in India, the advantages vis-a-vis the challenges and bottlenecks, IIT Jodhpur's library journey of ebook acquisitions, where are we standing today, and what is next for us from here. So though ebooks, many of us would agree that they may have arrived in India in 2000s, roughly put, the concept caught up from 2010 onwards. We have come a long way to where we are today in terms of ebooks, with so many models that flooded the market. For instance, there were some multimedia ebooks that were single machine installed model. Then there were interactive books on their own platforms like McGraw-Hill Access Engineering and so on and so forth, like Pearson or any other. There came then the publisher-specific textbook bundles that require the users to access them over a particular learning platform, which may not be as user-friendly or may, incur a recurring cost in renewing the subscriptions, because they may not be one-time purchase model that a library would typically look for, and they may impose restrictions of download, print, or copy. Then there are aggregator platforms that also come with certain limitations as for the core textbooks of higher education are concerned. But nevertheless, I must say the aggregator platforms are also beautiful because they give access to a wide range of popular books. As I say, they may be more suitable for popular books. They work on a number of user licenses and concurrent viewing and borrowing models. And then there are the models that most of the institutes prefer. The freedom model, where there are no restrictions with respect to the user licenses, platforms, or sharing or downloads, where the libraries can pick and choose the titles of their choice for perpetual access. No recurring fee involved. Although in my experience as a librarian and also as a user myself, the preference would be majorly for a print copy, which most of you would agree with me, be it a printed copy of the book where we can hold the book and read, or a printout of the book chapter, owing to the sheer convenience and comfort of reading. But we are all now familiar with the advantage of the AI-based tools that allow us to converse with our PDFs and generate insights, have this kind of debate, argument, or rather more of enlightenment. And then there are tools that produce even podcasts beyond our thoughts. The points that they would cover are very nuanced. That is where I would advocate for the electronic version of books more than ever before, where we saw only the convenience of space saving and multiple access anywhere, anytime. So IIT Jodhpur Library's journey of ebook acquisitions started with acquiring around 40 odd titles from major publishers like Elsevier and Wiley. They began in 2013-14. We started acquiring those books because the kind of model that we were looking at, the pick and choose model and the freedom model, where there are no restrictions to access and share or download and print, just like how we would access our e-journal articles as well, right? And there are perpetual access models where I license a particular ebook and I have the perpetual access forever with the license access forever with me. So this was where we started. And then the advantages vis-a-vis the challenges and bottlenecks that throughout our journey, my team and myself, we saw are, despite their advantages of space saving in multiple access anywhere, anytime, the usage did not seem to be encouraging when compared to the usage of e-journals. We would regularly monitor the usage statistics of these ebooks. Despite our all efforts to send intimations from time to time to the indenters, that is the recommenders, and the students, to make them discoverable on the online public access catalog of the library, and even list them out on the library website. Try to put out new arrivals display of ebook dummies, which I'll be covering, which is a very interesting topic. It's a very small topic. I would definitely want to share this effort of ours with you in a few slides. That is our starting point. Through other new arrivals newsletter and regular orientations to the users. But every time I would get these questions, despite we getting the access to ebooks and trying to educate the users about the models and their restrictions, they would come back and say, but ebooks are available out there, right? Why can't you buy? It's on Amazon. Why can't you buy? Oh, I didn't know that there were so many models, so on and so forth. Like, these were some of the challenges that we were sort of bogged down with. And then one day we were just, browsing through some literature, and this eureka moment happened to us. We came across a very interesting article. This is an idea from the Zombie Library of University Library Center of Idaho University, US. They created something called ebook dummies in wooden dummies, and they applied QR codes for the access information. They placed those dummies amidst the physical books in the library stacks, and browsing surprise was on library users' part, right? So what we did, we adopted the idea, And we did something like this. Instead of wooden dummies, we went in for customized folders. I hope my slide is visible, right? We created dummies like this. I can show you, if you're able to see me hold this dummy here, this is a kind of a folder. We got customized folders made, and we printed out the title, the outer cover of the book, including the spine labels, and we adorned on these little, the smaller versions of the folders. And then we put in the information. Some of the pages we printed out and we cut them to the size, the title, and the inside pages up to the contents and the index pages. And we also pasted a QR code outside the book, outside on the cover as well as inside, where the access information would be embedded. Now, it would look something like this. You're able to see the QR code. There's a shortened URL through which the user can access the book. This is the outer cover. And this dummy was placed in the stacks like this, amidst the racks. Now what happened? Whenever a user came and pulled out this book to be borrowed, he was in for a surprise. Where are the other pages of this book? They would come running to the circulation counter. Where are the other pages of the book? I want to borrow it. And then we would tell them, scan the QR code and you're able to access the books. I know very well for one fact that this is not a scalable model when we increase the number of ebooks. But this was one experiment we did from 2015 to 2018. In 17-18, we moved to our own building in our permanent campus. Until then, we were also hard pressed for space. So this was one very successful experiment. And the users, by this time, they got a flavor of using ebooks. Typically, the students would come back and tell me, ma'am, we have all the ebooks. It's very typical of the students to have copies downloaded from here and there, but they would always love to go back to the print copy of the book, especially during the exams, where they can make little note on the sidelines of the pages and study. That's the most convenient way of studying. But this was something we did for, I think, 3-4 years, 5 years, we maintained, and until our users got the flavor of the ebooks. Now, in 2019, we thought we should scale up our ebook acquisition, because that was when our users were slanting towards the ebooks. Our faculty members, our users, our students, everybody. So we said, yeah, let's collect the borrowing data of past 10 years and look at the top 1 to 500 titles, particularly the textbooks and multiple copy titles. We analyzed this data and we partnered with our channel partners, some of our very inclusive, very supportive book vendors, ebook vendors. Then we also had these things to think of and take into consideration, the points where there are a variety of publishers. How do we help them to reduce site hopping, and how do we reduce the click burden on them? We don't want to go in for the bundle thing. The bundle ebook bundle model was very popular back then, like 200 titles, 2000 titles. My users may or may not use as many titles, and the usage statistics at the end of the day would speak loud and clear how many titles have been used. It is also return on investment, not just collection development, but also return on investment. And do these kind of models satisfy our conditions? These were the considerations for us to mull on these thoughts and share it with our vendors and partners to come with a model that could be sustainable for us and particularly useful for us. So modestly, we started with aggregators content, EBSCO and ProQuest. And just in time, this particular, I remember we placing an order for 180 book titles just in the months of January, February of 2020. That was towards the end of the financial year of 1920. And the unprecedented lockdown happened. But our users were very happy with our services because we started with the ebooks and we didn't know that we were in time. Nevertheless, there are flip sides of it. Although, the aggregators content was accessible, we still needed a stable and single access platform for ebooks. And the requirement was felt most for the ebooks during the lockdown. Discussions during professional events and meetings, me sharing ideas and my professional colleagues helping me build on those ideas. Those things happened during those 1-2 years. And then unlike journals, book requirements vary among institutions. This is where I feel even if we want to come together as institutions to buy in bundle or to do a collective negotiation, it may or may not be practically feasible. So in 2024, I will fast forward to 2024, our experiments with the evidence-based acquisition started. As our users started using the ebooks very well and they started asking for more, we said, now let's take a leap and let's look at the evidence-based acquisition. So I must tell you that at IIT Jodhpur Library, we maintain a healthy proportion of print and electronic book collection. And our acquisitions are majorly patron or demand driven. Accordingly, we have been conscious of our ebook acquisitions model to be majorly pick and choose. Based on our experience with ebook acquisitions during and post-COVID times, we initiated evidence-based acquisition model with 2 publishers in 2024, the Institute of Physics, which gave access to around 800 plus titles on their platform, and Cambridge University Press, who opened up their entire collection of ebooks to us. So in this model, most of you will definitely know, but still for the benefit of many others, I will explain this model. The publisher opens access to their complete or major portion or subject-wise ebook collection to the institute against an initial nominal fee for an entire year. The users get full text access to all the books published till the current year during the access period. Towards the end of the access period, the institutes can choose to retain a perpetual access to the books of their choice based on either user recommendations or usage data over the access period. This model is practically workable as users get enough time to access and evaluate the content. But here come the practical challenges. Nothing is free of challenges, right? So the challenges were one of the major hurdles is the overwhelming number of titles available in the model. In case of Institute of Physics, it is 800 plus. In case of Cambridge University Press, it runs into thousands, and a couple of tens of subject collections, that is the subject headings, making it difficult for users to effectively navigate extensive book lists provided by the library. Typically, what would a library do? Fetch the title lists or KBART lists from the publisher and then share it to the faculty members or the users or the recommenders of the library or the institution in the form of these Excel sheets or CSV files in a drive or something, and then they are asked to forage through these title lists and then access them and let us know which of them are of their interest. Takes an entire year. Despite that, we all know and comply with this difficulty of the users in finding time. If they have time, they might have something else to do. If they have the mood to check out these titles and recommend, they might get pulled on to some other things. See, people are very busy, right? Additionally, discovering specific titles across various publisher websites is a cumbersome task, further complicating this selection process. So as a result, users struggle to identify relevant materials that align with their interests or research needs. And towards the end of the year, we would pressurize them to give us the titles that they would want to choose for the library, and it would be probably a less meaningful exercise. So consequently, the libraries may find it challenging to gather meaningful user feedback and ultimately curate a collection that truly reflects the community's needs. We did go back to the publishers to explore if they can help us addressing this challenge, but somehow they are also they look like they are puzzled and they are also looking for a way out. To me, as a librarian, this challenge seemed insurmountable at that point in time, and the time was fast ticking. 1 year, as it appears, it's not a great time when we actually start using the collections, and from the librarian point of view, a one year time is not a big time. And I had no heart to overwhelm my users with heaps of information and asking them to choose from within. That is where, we were stuck with this challenge. So something happened in the summer of 2024. It was summer of 2024 and the MTech executive students were on campus for their immersion program. So we have these executive MTech programs running in IIT Jodhpur for students who are already employed or entrepreneurs who want to continue their education. So our programs, they range from artificial intelligence to data science to many other subjects and disciplines. So the MTech AI executive students were here for campus immersion. As usual, we walked them through our library offerings, which was very well received by them because we host special library orientation programs for our executive students. The edge we have with our executive students is that we vibe well with each other because of the fact that we are in similar phases of life. To be honest, we have always enjoyed our sessions with all our executive students. While stepping out, Dr. Mohit and Abhishek, they stopped by the library office briefly. We have another partner here, a little inactive partner, but yes, a partner. They candidly offered to help us with any requirement we might have that they could support for us. Thus started our conversation on the challenges we were facing with our EBA initiative. We told them that we were looking for a technological intervention that could map the user profile with the book titles from the library curated lists and indicate appropriate titles aligning with their interests. In partnership with these CS professionals who work with AI and ML, our brainstorming started on developing a solution to overcome our challenge. Dr. Mohit himself is an entrepreneur and a technocrat par excellence, as Dr. Sangeeta has already introduced to us. We spent the next couple of days discussing how we could turn our ideas into a practical application. So once back to his place, Dr. Mohit sprang into action and summoned his resources. It was hugely magnanimous of Mohit to have taken upon himself to turn this rudimentary idea into reality for his alma mater. Thus, the project kicked off. An initial design of the user interface and the library staff interface were soon developed and demonstrated to us. The design was made attractive to coordinate with our library website's theme. Over the following 8 months, several meetings took place between the library team and the developer team. We exchanged ideas to pack in appropriate features, keeping in view the application's purpose and its underlying philosophy. The team's output was absolutely professional and high in quality. I must appreciate the entire team for this. Thus, the Book Select Pro evolved. Primarily, the product was developed to be a web application. It was very thoughtful of Mohit to preempt the requirement of a mobile version at the moment, basis the web version. Besides the web version, an iOS version is also available. The Android version is in pipeline. I'll quickly take you through a short video, how it looks like. This is the librarian's interface I am showcasing to you. User profile is, then we can have user profiles or faculty profiles. User profile is, then we can review and manage profiles related to user profiles. After the presentation, we can view all the roles and the application and faculty members. Yeah, we have the option to approve the applications in line with the application policy. So this was the librarian interface, and this is the user interface.
Dr. Kshema, can I request you if you can do a little voiceover, because the transmission is not that, it's not, we can't hear it well. The video we are able to see, but we are not able to hear well. So perhaps you can tell them a little bit, yeah, as we play the video.
All right, I'll do that. No worries.
Please.
Yeah. So this is the user interface. It is a personalized AI book based book recommender. A user can log in with the institutional email ID. Users can update their areas of interest in profile section. Upon login, a curated list of books matching the user profiles appear. Single click recommendations for library acquisition. The content can be reviewed before they they send it for recommendation. There is a button that takes them to the library catalog, which is embedded inside this app. I will also request my colleague Kamlesh to later on demonstrate the app if possible. This is how one can click on the curated list of the titles and go to the publisher page and check for the content and then recommend for this particular book from inside the app itself. So the beauty of this app is when the users log in with their institutional email ID and create their profile and curate their research areas, the backend AI ML based application, it matches with the interest of the user and throws up the hits of the titles based on their research area interest, instead of the user having to forage through thousands and thousands of titles. So this is how the app works. And once a book is recommended, the person who has logged in can also see the notifications where the recommendation has gone and what is the response from the library team. So this is the user interface. And this is a screenshot of the administrator dashboard, which my colleague will demonstrate, and also Mohitji will explain this app. So finally, yeah, we touched the Kaizen. We have changed to improve. This is a product that we came out with finally. And this product was launched on Engineers Day on 15th September 2024 by our Honorable Director, Professor Avinash Kumar Agarwal, and the chief guest for the occasion. That day, it marked history in the history of the IIT Jodhpur library, because two apps were launched. One is Book Select Pro, which is the most useful for selecting books, e-books, any books for that matter, for the faculty members with ease, speed, and grace. And the other app was also developed by a student team from BTech, that is our own library mobile app, the SR Ranganathan Learning Hub mobile app. So this is my young team with all the interns and the students. So this is Abhishek, who was also a partner with us in this entire Book Select Pro application development. Yeah, so where are we today? We are at a juncture where our faculty members are actively exploring these tools, and as we are trying to finalize our titles for the evidence-based acquisition to wrap up for this year. Not just TBA titles, but other kinds of ebook lists can also be uploaded for the users to browse and select. So we are currently brainstorming on adding features and frills to include a variety of content for selection. Now, that brings us to a question, what next? What next is, the future is exciting. We may add bells and whistles also. So stay tuned. That's how it is. I'm very grateful to our director for all his support and encouragement throughout. to Dr. Mohit and to Dr. Abhishek for teaming up with us and making our ideas a reality. And my own team, Kamlesh, Chatwani, and the young intern, the young library associate, Arshad Abdul, who's a very young intern and has teaming ideas. All the videos that we create on our content and the offerings of library that we put on our social media, because we discovered that this is the way the world moves. It's the zamana hai Instagram ke reels ka, ya YouTube ke shorts ka. You know, if you want to deliver a content, dodge it as a bullet of a video reel, a social media reel. And we are thankful to all the partners who pushed us to think beyond boundaries, our publishers and our vendors. Last but not least, Dr. Sangeeta Kaul and the wonderful DELNET team for giving me this platform to share our achievements. Yeah, this is how it is. It's a proud Made in India product developed by our students and the library team of IIT Jodhpur. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kshema. What a marvelous presentation, and that speaks volumes of your commitment, your contributions that you're making, not only for IIT Jodhpur, but yes, to the entire library and information science landscape as such. And we also truly appreciate the efforts, because what we are seeing it, definitely Dr. Mohit Saxena, because he's going to now throw more light into the technology being used, the AI technology being used, and also the challenges what the technology posed and how he was able to overcome. But we can truly appreciate and admire your efforts, the persistent efforts of yours to see to it that it sees the light of the day. The tools are there, the technologies are there, but we have to really ensure that we are able to use it, tame the technology and use it the way that we want. And the efforts, you might have put in all throughout you and your team members, it's simply praiseworthy, because you are setting, in fact, it's venturing into the new land. It's when we think about it, how AI can, what are the kind of applications that we in the libraries can, implement. You have really being, undoubtedly, you have being showing to many of our institutions a way ahead, that, and you will be inspiring many of our attendees even here today to start thinking about, taking it to the next level. And we wish you the very best. And we really would really like that many of the other institutions also comes forward, because there are huge subscriptions which happens, when we think about the ebooks, and you have, in a very significant manner, you have been able to also clearly indicate that the kind of problems, which are being encountered, not only by the users, not only by our our scholarly community, but more so by the library and information science professionals, who have to really ensure that we are able to provide them a very precise kind of an information delivery. And this is charting a new way, and using the AI. And we heartily congratulate IIT Jodhpur. And yes, indeed, the efforts being made by you for bringing this change is simply praiseworthy. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a ton, Dr. Kshema. We have with us Dr. Mohit Saxena, as being mentioned by Dr. Kshema, that yes, it's all because of the the persistent efforts of Dr. Mohit Saxena, his vision, the futuristic vision, being a technologist, he was one who was able to ensure that this entire application got developed. So we would really like to know now from you, Dr. Mohit Saxena ji, if you can throw some light and can let us know how, what really inspired you, to get into this, and what has been the journey. When we think about now, it has grown as a product, and definitely we look forward that many other institutional libraries comes forward in implementing and doing it not only in India and also many of the other countries. We would like to really know from you that what has been the technological not only the hurdles and challenges, but yes, what is a future that you foresee having implemented, this AI technology? Because this is just a beginning that we are able to see how AI is able to now get into the libraries and into the applications and coming to our rescue in, helping out our user community. So we would now like to request you, Dr. Saxena, to kindly apprise all of our attendees here today about this marvelous, praiseworthy efforts. So it's over to you now, Dr. Saxena.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sangeeta, and thank you very much, Dr. Kshema, for a wonderful introduction to the app as well as my own self. So I would like to mention the technological aspects of the app, and Dr. Kshema already mentioned how the journey started, how we kind of started conceptualizing this app, uh, and later we are here. We are today here when the app is already live, and the library, IIT Jodhpur library, is already one of the users of the app. So, as she rightly mentioned, the journey started when during the last year summer when we met at the library, and we all try to think of doing something for the society, giving back to the society when we've achieved something. But in academics, we also try to double click the whole scenic picture, that if we are in academics, and library is one of the places which is the source of all the wisdom, all the knowledge. In terms of being a researcher, means most of the researchers would spend lots and lots of their time in the libraries. Most of the students would also spend lots and lots of their time in libraries, learning about their curriculum, learning about different skills, learning about the way of life, and gaining skills for employability, and being a better person in life. So why not try to give back to the library, the source, the mother source of all this wisdom, which in which we spend lots and lots of time while we are getting we are learning while we are in the colleges, in the universities. So that was the idea, and I was learning artificial intelligence at IIT Jodhpur. It's a marvelous institute, I must say. And Dr. Sharma and the director Saab gave this opportunity to kind of do something for the library, and we quickly grabbed it. And I am a firm believer that the technology is only useful when it is able to do something which solves some real world problem, or makes the life easier for the normal users. And that's what we try to do. We learn AI at the institute, and we try to give back the values and the goodies of AI, which would make the life of professors, the library users, as well as the librarians easy. So here is the Book Select Pro app, and I'm Mohit Saxena. My affiliations are, of course, IIT Jodhpur and Think Quantum LLP, which is an incubation launch vehicle involved in AI and quantum development. And of course, I'm the co-founder of Infinity Labs Limited as well, which is a cybersecurity company, again, made in India, doing wonders in country. So this is the quick agenda which I'll be covering. Introduction, we'll talk about what the app is, what it does, then the key features, and again, I'll keep it very crisp. Then app platforms and components, what we have, what we do not have. Then the tech stack which we used. I'll touch upon the technology at high level, maybe a 10,000 view of the overall tech stack, and how we try to utilize various technologies which most of the technocrats talk about. And then I'll talk about ease of deployment, how easy or difficult it is for any library to kind of adopt it. Then we'll discuss a quick slide on the roadmap, and then we'll talk about the commercial aspect of the app, like how to get it, or what are the streams of getting into such kind of technology solutions, whether the open source way or the commercial distribution, or a hybrid model. Then of course the conclusion. So coming back, to the application, which Dr. Kshema already gave a very good overview. So Book Select app is available on web, on iOS, and Android version is also on the way. It is for librarians, for publishers, for library users, for professors, and this bridges the gap of communication with ease between all the parties. So what happens is, whenever there are loads and loads of book list coming from the publishers, that book list serves as the data set for the application. So that book list is fed in the application, and then there is an AI model, a RAG based AI model, which starts running and learning from that book list. It keeps learning what kind of titles the book has and what kind of subject interest the book covers, and based on that the model gets to know which book to recommend to who all users. Now the users also would want to create their profiles and tell the model about their preferences. So when I say profile is nothing but the user's name, some small personal details, and also his or her preferences, subjects, skills, technologies, or possibly the area of interest which he or she would want to get books of. So those interests are fed, and then there is a match which happens between the interest and the book list, and the user gets to know the books which are available, which are of his interest, and that saves the user from going through plenty of information in terms of thousands of books in different domains which the publisher would publish in that year. So that's the app all about, and these are some of the category of users which I am mentioning on the slide, that the library users, the librarians, and the publishers. Then these are some of the key features of the app. So it's an AI powered book recommendation. So the users get what they want. There is a profile based customization available, so users can customize their profiles and they can add multiple skills, multiple interests. So it's a many to one mapping as well, many to many mapping as well. All those kind of mappings are very much possible. Then there's a seamless procurement workflow, so the users can actually communicate or send a notification to the library that they have selected the kind of books they would want to have in the library, and then the libraries can act on procuring those, and based on the procurement tracking, they can actually send a message back to the users when the books are already available in the library. So that completes the workflow. And there is a feedback mechanism loop as well available in the app, which balances between the librarians and the library users. Then of course the real-time notifications on email, on SMS, that is very much available, and of course the multi-platform support. So we have taken care of most of the laptops and the tab users, because web-based version is available, and then for the mobile users, we have the iOS and Android, both the versions. Then the app components and platforms. So the application itself, other than the application itself, we have an AI driven backend which processes the book recommendations, and it's a Python based AI model, and based on random forest algorithm, and of course RAG based searches. Then there's a database which the app has. It runs both SQL and NoSQL databases, MySQL and Mongo. to be precise. And of course, there is a BPMN 2.0 standardized workflow which is available in the app, which does the workflow for the platform. The tech stack used is again Python, Django, then RAG-based AI models. Front end is Angular. iOS application is done in Swift, and Android application is done in Java. Then database, of course, SQL and Mongo. We have hosting available both in cloud as well as, so when I say cloud can be both public cloud as well as private cloud. So for the mobile applications, we can have them hosted in the Play stores, and means a copy of application available in the Play stores, while the complete backend of the app can stay within the institutes for security reasons. It can also be used on the cloud because it runs on microservices architecture, which is very much secure, because AI being kind of the central powerhouse, it also requires a lot of security measures to secure your implementation of AI to be able to give a responsible response for the users. Then of course the APIs are RESTful APIs for seamless integration, which would be covered in the next slide for future integrations with other elements of library ecosystem. And also the APIs can be utilized for integration with the institutes or universities existing digital assets. Then the ease of deployment. So of course, I spoke about on-prem and cloud deployment. The app supports both. There are very minuscule technological overheads which are required, because once the app is containerized, there is very less monitoring required for the app. Everything is automated. Of course, it's very much secure and scalable. We use AES 256-bit encryption to secure the data, and of course it's a very quick setup. So for IIT Jodhpur, once we completed the code, we were able to set it up within a few hours, and the app was live. Then this is the roadmap for the app. So the app is available for the regular users. However, we are working on enhanced accessibility features for differently abled users. Then of course the library ecosystem integration is on the way, where we can integrate the app with other elements, be it digital assets, be it kiosks, be it other biometric integrations within the library. Then of course we also would want to integrate it with an voice command support with NLP, natural language processing. And there could be AI chatbot for recommendations, where it could give an experience of an Alexa-like or a Gemini-like experience, where you can actually, instead of logging on to the app, you can actually interact with the app using voice commands, and do the job without even a single touch. Then of course the publisher collaboration features are on the way, where we would want to give an interface to the trusted publishers as well, where the whole ecosystem becomes almost like zero touch, where publishers keep on pumping new publications, and which are on the way to the app, and the whole cycle of recommendations and procurement gets on the go in real time. So this is the penultimate slide where I would talk about how easy it would be, or how pocket friendly it would be for the institutes and libraries to kind of use it. So we might be putting up an open source version as well, while as of now it's not an open source app, because there are IPRs and other stuff which we hold for the app. So this is a kind of a very thin line, a very, I would say, thin line difference, and also a balance which has to be struck between the complexity abstraction vis-a-vis the cost. So if you go the open source way, we might think that the cost is reduced, but that's not the case, because the moment you go the open source way, you will have to maintain a full-fledged IT team to actually maintain the app, and there won't be any feature developments, or any kind of bug fixes. Support becomes another issue. So in long run, the open source plethora gives you even more headache and more expenses in a way, while if you go the commercial way, the commercial distribution way, it might cost you a bit for the first time, but all the complexities get abstracted. The app becomes plug and play. There is a support. There is one neck to choke whenever there is any challenge you face, and you focus on your core business rather than investing time in maintaining an application which might not be the core business for the libraries. Then of course the integrations also play a major role, because not every library would want to use this app as a standalone. There will be other digital assets within the library, and you would want to integrate the app with those as well. So all those things become like a cakewalk with the commercial distribution. So again, the choice is ours, which way to go, and that's what the idea of this slide was, to give the pros and cons of kind of both the approaches. And yeah, so overall, Book Select Pro simplifies the library book procurement process, leverages cutting edge technologies like machine learning or artificial intelligence for recommendations, uses a standardized workflow mechanism to bridge the communication gaps, and pass on the messages, notifications on real time. It also provides a very cost-effective, secure, and scalable solution for all the parties involved. And of course, would welcome you all to join the future of smart libraries with Book Select Pro. Thank you very much. So over to Dr. Sangeeta.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Saxena. Thank you so very much, not only for your presence and presentation, but also for taking this initiative, very innovative initiative, and doing, the work for the library professionals. That's simply each one of us really would like to thank you, for making it. It's like bringing this AI technology into the libraries. One quick question, Dr. Saxena, I would like to ask you, because you are the one holding such a great vision, a technologist. How do you foresee, because what we are through this app trying to do, is about the ebooks procurement, but we as a library and information science professionals always remain more also concerned at the same time, besides the technology use, also about how far are we enhancing the level, the quality of the content that we are offering, the authentic content. When we think about the ebook selection using your AI app, and what is how do you foresee, how would you like to what will be the evolution of this app in the years to come, maybe after 5 years, how do you want to see it? Are we currently using any summarization? Because as you have indicated, because the data is coming from the publishers and it's typically a bibliographic data which is there, how far are you intending to use AI technology to further enhance the level of the content, which will be good in their decision-making process, by having the summarization techniques, to create a summary of that, which may not only the summary of the book, also some of the reviews of the book, being given. And because if once you're using the AI, it's very much visible. So do we have it this, we know that this is just a beginning being made in this application, but do you have any plans also to integrate? Because that would be the thing, because otherwise it would be, it's a bibliographic thing right now we are doing. It's like we are merging the records being given by the publishers and then keeping the profile of our users. We are mapping and showing it. But the next level should also be that making these users more aware about what is the content all about, rather than they going again to the entire, let's say, 400-page book. At least if we use the AI-based summarization and you can bring it also the reviews and many other things, which will be truly a kind of the enhancing the level of the content that the user may like to in the decision making recommendation system. It's like it will certainly be a helping hand. How do you means, do we have right now anything, have we already worked on these lines, or what are your plans? How would you like to take this app further?
Sure. Thank you very much for the question, and it's actually a very good question indeed. So I'll take it in two parts. So there is an initial book recommendation process, and when this book recommendation process is initiated, the app or for that matter anyone would not have the complete content of the book immediately available, because it could be a new book which the publisher has recently published, and the data which would come for recommendation process would be the title of the book and possibly some little bit of abstract and the rates and the publication, the ISSN, and things like that. So with that data, the overall summary might not be possible. So that is because and that is somehow possible in the second step. So the first step is recommendation. So sometimes the titles of the books are not exactly depicting the kind of interest or the kind of content the book has. So the AI model is actually looking at the description and trying to understand that what kind of subject areas this book would focus on, and based on that it is recommending the books to the users. So that is step one. Now we are also implementing a user feedback, a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So the moment user says thumbs up, it's absolutely fine, but the moment user says thumbs down, there is a small text area which would come up where the user can actually mention what was his expectation which wasn't met. Based on that, the AI model will keep on evolving and keep on learning. Now that is the process one, the stage one of the process. Now once the book is available and the book is procured, because without the book being procured, I don't think the app will have the rights to read the complete content of the book, because somebody has to pay for the book. Without that, there will be a copyright infringement if any app tries to read the complete book. So once the book is procured, so this is step one, the recommendation process and procurement process. So this is, as of now, is completely in control and is available. Now once the book is available, then we can certainly make use of the AI models to keep feeding the books and generate a qualitative summary of the book, and those summaries can be made available to the users and the users can take a kind of informed, well-informed decision whether to borrow that book or whether to read that book or kind of look for some alternative. So that would be stage 2, which would come after recommendation when the book is procured. However, if there would be any alliance or any kind of system which might get developed in future with the publishers, where the publishers might be willing to give some kind of first-hand access only to the app but not to the users, so that their content is also safeguarded, their copyrights are also safeguarded, and the app has an access to kind of read and generate a small summary which can also be shown to the user that this is what this app this book has in the covers for you, so that user can make a more informed decision. But again, it's a dual-edged sword because if the user gets to know what he is getting into, and that might sometimes might boost the sale of the publisher, but at the other hand sometimes it might work negatively as well, that maybe the user might not want to to try that book. So so again, that would require deliberation, and I would request Kshema madam as well, Dr. Kshema as well, to throw some more light, because she comes from that background and those expertise where she can talk more about publisher, librarian, and user relationships, while whatever is possible through the common human intervention and with human communication, we can certainly automate it using AI. So if there is a process which can be made, that can certainly be automated. There is no second thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Saxena. In fact, what happens is the publishers, if you visit their websites for a particular ebook or for that matter anything, they do carry a summary of that particular title. But when they are sharing their data with the institutions, the data sets, the Dublin core usually, that particular, because it's quite a descriptive one, they don't include that. So perhaps, because since this entire exercise is being centered around the ebooks procurement, for decision making, the user definitely, once the user has purchased it, he won't like to have even just a summary. He would like to see the entire book. So a special effort can be made to approach the publisher saying that we have got an app, and now in the data that they are giving it to you, sharing the data, which becomes in the back end the data on which the entire application is based on, the AI models are being working, you can have a special request saying that we would like to also have a summary of the book, because this entire process it's a prerequisite that a person who would like to really make a decision would like to see what the book is all about. It's not our physical environment, but in the libraries we used to get a book, as a pre-order, and has, wants to slide, glance through the title and all. So I think, the data that we are getting from the publishers, maybe this is also a new kind of a practice which may evolve once such kind of AI-driven applications they get, that we have to ask the publisher. It's not a default, de facto standard in which they are, sending it to us. They do have a data with them, even the summary of the books, ebooks, and which they may like to, then the libraries should come forward and asking the publishers that we really want to have this particular data also, the summary of the book. But anyhow, thank you so very much, Dr. Saxena. And this also, I think this really requires, this would be we can have a brainstorming sessions on this, at how this, but the efforts being made both by you and Dr. Kshema is truly marvelous. It's we highly greatly value and appreciate the efforts being done, because you, as I said earlier, you are inspiring others also to follow and to bring this technology into their libraries. We would like to make the floor open for questions.
Yeah, Dr. Sangeeta, I just have a couple of things to add here. One thing I definitely agree with you about the publishers sharing the shareable content for better decision making. Also, when it comes to the evidence-based acquisition model, the point we have to remember is the institute has access to the publisher's content, the entire content of the ebooks that we have signed up for through the EBA model. That is where this whole exercise started. So it might be possible that when we speak with the publisher and get the data, we also get a part of the data as much the user requires for decision making process. Plus, maybe in future we can also think of integrating sites like choice reviews or Goodreads, from where if we are not talking about EBA, if we are just talking about the plain Jane list of uploaded titles for the faculty members to choose, we can think of integrating these book review sites, which are very popular. Maybe choice reviews is a paid service, but or something like that can be thought of.
Great, great. Thank you very much, Dr. Kshema. Thank you so very much for this. So with the permission of you both, we would like to make the floor open for questions. And so we would now like to request, we have nearly right now 400 plus professional colleagues who are being there from across India and outside, requesting you, this is for our attendees, very esteemed colleagues, who have been able to join us from different parts of India and many other countries. Please raise your digital hand and we would be really delighted to get you connected with our distinguished speakers. So I would go alphabetically from A to Z and requesting you that please raise your digital hand and so that we can give you a connect. So I'm going through and I will just firstly go to Mr. Anand Vishwakarma, who has raised his digital hand. And this is for you, Mr. Anand. This is for you, Mr. Anand. Could you please unmute yourself? This is for Mr. Anand Vishwakarma. Anand, it seems that you are not able to unmute, or perhaps your audio device suddenly got disconnected. I will go now to Mr. Ayan Mandal. Mr. Ayan Mandal, yes, we are connected right now, Ayan. Please introduce yourself.
Am I audible?
And ask your question. Very much, Ayan. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sangeeta. Good evening to everyone. So, my name is Ayan Mandal. I am from Tuli Research Center for India Studies, which is very much located in Vasant Kunj and very much near to DELNET itself. So, my question is to Dr. Kshema and Dr. Kshema Prakash also. So, once a book launch or released, so how much time is required to reflect in your apps to get the information?
Sorry, Anji, your question is not clear.
Hello.
Dr. Kshema, Mr. Ann is wanting to know when the book gets released, how sooner it will become reflected in your app. So that's the publisher's take, but anyhow, so he's wanting to know when the book gets released, it's like getting released and how sooner that book will be reflected in this. But I think he needs a little more clarity that this is on the subscribed resources and this has to be a part of the publisher's a publisher has to make it available, and if you're subscribing, if you are wanting it, then only you can access it through the app. It's not going to get yes.
So I'll answer this question. See, this app is an app where we upload the publisher's book lists manually ourselves. See, it does not pull the information from the website automatically. This is especially for the models of ebook acquisition in terms of evidence-based acquisition, where the publisher opens up a part of the entire set of books for an institute to license. We get a list of the books with essential fields and we upload the book list. And based on the faculty members or the user's profile, there is a match that is made. This is not publisher driven or publisher website driven. This is the library driven app. Am I able to clarify your question?
Yeah, it's all right. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Dr. Sangeeta, you are on mute.
Sangeeta,
Sangeeta, you are on mute. We can't hear you.
Sorry, was it for me? I just got disconnected for a few seconds.
Dr. Sangeeta was on mute. We were informing her about.
Yeah, okay.
I guess Dr.
Sangeeta, you are still on mute.
There's still some technical issue.
Could be. Let's wait for another 5 minutes to see if all is well again. If you have her direct number, maybe would you like to give her a call?
By that time, Dr. Saxena may ask a question. If any private library wants to use that AI tools that you have developed, so how do we contact you? Can you please once again tell us?
Yeah, sure. So you can always contact Dr. Kshema Prakash or to me. We will share our emails with the help of DELNET. I think that can certainly be done.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Here itself. Hello. Am I audible? Dr. Sharma, audible? Yeah. So using this, I think some issue has happened in the app. So always one has to, I'm extremely sorry. This is, we are using this technology again for the past 5 years now. It's a very rare occasion when we get into such kind of a situation. And so extreme apologies for the same, but we are glad that the entire deliberations were being completed. And also, I could see that there are no questions. It's not that we have not answered, any of the questions being asked. So we would like to thank, both our speakers, Dr. Kshema Prakash, as well as Dr. Mohit Saxena ji, and also the other team members from IIT Jodhpur who have been able to join. And on behalf of DELNET, Dr. Sharma, we would like to present this memento to you with great sense of appreciation and admiration and gratitude to you. And we would be sending it to you and requesting you to please accept it as a token of our very warm appreciation and admiration. It would be a pleasure, Dr. Saxena. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. And Dr. Mohit, it will be a pleasure to see you sometime. I believe you are in Gurugram and you are much nearer. Delhi is much nearer to Gurugram, and it would be a pleasure. Right now I'm virtually, presenting it to you, but look forward to having you here at DELNET some of the time, and would be an absolute pleasure to meet and interact with you, and also to see to it that how we can take this wonderful initiative of yours, among the libraries, the DELNET member institutions. So with a warm admiration for the wonderful efforts, path-breaking efforts that you're setting in, we would like to present this memento to you and requesting you to kindly accept the same. I'm looking forward also to meet you sometime at DELNET. So thank you so very much. I'm extremely apologize because of certain platform glitch. It seems that we are having this, but glad that we have been able to interact, and a big thank you to each of one of our attendees who have been able to join us from different nooks and parts of the country and also from many other countries. The entire deliberations will be made available by Monday on the DELNET's YouTube channel, WebView. We request you to kindly, have a look. You may definitely be wanting to again listen to the same. And also in the days to come, we would also like to see that to run some exclusive webinar sessions, especially like this, wherein which will be more focused on the AI tools and technologies, highlighting some of the best practices, successful stories from the libraries, wherein the AI tools have been implemented, but because undoubtedly, it makes us all aware about how the technology is not only the technology, how the technology is moving, but how we as the library and information science professionals can implement those technologies. And some of the, the early initiators in this, we always greatly value, because you are not only doing it for your own respective institutions, Dr. Sharma, you are also in a way contributing in setting a trend. It's a trend setting that you are doing it. So we wish you the very best, and we are indeed so very happy and delighted that you are able to bring in, it's making others is truly enlightening in a way, because we always keep on feeling that yes, what we can do in the libraries, and the real doers who have really made it happen, seeing is believing, and you have already started. And once you make a beginning, then the other things will follow. You can always be on a constant drive to keep on innovating more, and it will always keep on helping you to, take it to the next level. So thank you very much. And also Dr. Mohit Saxena, you and your team members really deserves, all the accolades and appreciation from everyone for coming, into the domain of the libraries and doing something for them. And we know that this is just a beginning, and we really look forward, to seeing a new phase, the phase one. I know that this is a phase 0 right now, the kind of contributions that you have made and started it off. And in the days to come, we really look forward to see to it that the application gets also, rolled out in many of the institutions across the country, and also in many of the other countries. So thank you so very much, Dr. Saxena. We also take this pleasure platform to acknowledge the support of the IIT Jodhpur colleagues, Dr. Kamlesh Patel, and many other colleagues who definitely have been working and significantly contributing, as a team in making this entire implementation, to get fruitified there. So thank you so very much once again. It has been a profound honor and pleasure. And also would like to thank all our attendees who have been able to join us today. It was truly a pleasure interacting with each one of you. We will be notifying you. We are planning to hold our next webinar is on data visualization techniques, which we intend to do in the first week of March. We will be notifying each one of you, and it would be a pleasure to have you with us in the forthcoming webinar also. So with this, we close today's webinar session. And on behalf of DELNET, we would like to once again thank each one of you for being there with us this afternoon. Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. Thank you so much, Dr. Saxena. Thank you, Dr. Kamlesh, and each one of you
Thank you, Dr.
being there
Sangeeta.
with us.
Thank you, Mohitji. And thanks, my team.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you. God bless.
क्योंकि उनकी कन्वर्सेशन जो सचिन सर और उनका चल रहा था उसकी आवाज पहुंच पा रही, लेकिन आपका हमसे
नहीं